The massive Klingon warship materializes in Earth's orbit, its imposing silhouette blotting out the stars. Global panic erupts as news broadcasts interrupt regular programming, showing grainy footage of the alien vessel. Earth's military forces scramble into action, fighter jets launching from bases worldwide. In the White House Situation Room, world leaders gather around screens, faces pale with shock. A transmission crackles through, and Ambassador Koth's stern visage fills the displays. His deep, guttural voice resonates as he delivers his ultimatum. Earthlings, surrender your most potent biological weapon, or face annihilation. Confusion ripples through the room. The President of the United States leans forward, brow furrowed. We possess no such weapon, she declares, her voice steady despite the tension. Koth's eyes narrow. You have 24 hours to comply, he growls before the transmission cuts out. As chaos unfolds on the surface, deep beneath the Pentagon, a different scene plays out. Kevin Campbell, a 28-year-old NASA astrophysicist, steps out of an elevator into a top-secret facility. His messy brown hair and rumpled clothes suggest he was pulled from his work without warning. A stern-faced general ushers him into a sterile white room. Kevin's eyes widen as he spots a figure standing in the corner. She turns, and Kevin's breath catches in his throat. The woman before him is unmistakably alien, her forehead adorned with distinctive Klingon ridges, her skin a pale lavender hue. Yet her beauty is otherworldly, captivating. Dr. Campbell, meet Luna, the general introduces. She's a Klingon defector with critical information about the weapon Ambassador Koth seeks. Luna steps forward, her movements graceful despite her warrior physique. The weapon they seek is not of your making, she explains, her voice carrying a melodic accent. Ancient Klingon prophecies speak of a human male possessing a unique biological feature, a thing between legs that's missing from Klingon males. This feature is capable of neutralizing a galaxy-threatening superweapon. Kevin's mind reels, struggling to process the implications. Before he can form a coherent thought, he's whisked away to a medical bay. A team of doctors subject him to a battery of invasive examinations, their expressions growing increasingly excited as they pore over the results. It's unprecedented, one doctor exclaims, pointing to a display showing quantum readings. His reproductive organs possess a unique quantum signature unlike anything we've seen before. Luna's eyes light up. This could be the key, she breathes. The superweapon is hidden within a distant nebula, set to detonate in 30 days. It has the power to destroy half the galaxy. As Kevin grapples with the weight of this revelation, alarms blare throughout the facility. On screens throughout the room, they watch as Earth's military mobilizes, preparing for a potential Klingon invasion. In a flurry of activity, a covert team is assembled. Kevin finds himself at the center of it all, still reeling from the knowledge that humanity's fate now rests on his shoulders and between his legs. Luna stands beside him, her presence both reassuring and unsettling. He catches her stealing glances at him, her expression a mix of curiosity and something deeper, more complex. As they board an experimental, faster-than-light spacecraft, Kevin's mind races. The fate of not just Earth, but half the galaxy, hangs in the balance, and somehow, improbably, the key to salvation lies within him, a truth as terrifying as it is bewildering. The ship's engines roar to life. As they prepare to launch into the unknown, Kevin meets Luna's gaze. In her eyes, he sees a reflection of his own turmoil, the weight of destiny, the fear of failure, and the faintest glimmer of hope. Together, they embark on a perilous journey to save the galaxy, armed with nothing but courage, advanced technology, and the most unlikely of weapons. The Stargazer's engines hum to life, vibrating through the ship's hull as it rose from its hidden launch pad in the Mojave Desert. Kevin gripped the edge of his seat, his fingers tightening as the G-forces pressed him back. Luna stood beside him, her lavender skin gleaming under the cockpit's lights, her eyes fixed on the rapidly shrinking Earth below. As they breached the atmosphere, the vast expanse of space unfurled before them. Kevin's awe was short-lived, however, as a proximity alarm blared through the ship. A Klingon patrol vessel loomed ahead, its weapon systems powering up. "Evasive maneuvers," shouted the captain, but Luna raised a hand. Wait, she said, her voice steady. I can handle this. Luna stepped forward, activating the communication array. The stern face of a Klingon officer appeared on the screen. Unidentified vessel, state your purpose, the officer growled. Luna straightened her posture, her voice taking on a commanding tone. This is a sanctioned scientific mission under the authority of the High Council. Our clearance code is TARG Gamma 93. Kevin held his breath, watching the Klingon officer's face for any sign of suspicion. After what felt like an eternity, the officer nodded curtly. Proceed, he grunted, and the transmission cut out. A collective sigh of relief swept through the bridge. Luna turned to Kevin, a small smile playing on her lips. It seems my knowledge of Klingon protocols has its uses. With the immediate danger behind them, Kevin and Luna retreated to the ship's laboratory. Surrounded by advanced equipment, they pored over ancient Klingon texts and quantum readings from Kevin's body. These energy signatures are unlike anything I've ever seen, Kevin muttered, studying a holographic display of his DNA. Luna leaned in close, her breath warm on his neck. The prophecies speak of a cosmic resonance within the Chosen One. Your reproductive organs seem to emit a quantum frequency that could potentially disrupt the superweapon's energy matrix. Kevin shifted uncomfortably, acutely aware of Luna's proximity. So, how do we harness this resonance? Luna's eyes met his, a mixture of scientific curiosity and something more primal swirling in their depths. We may need to conduct more intimate studies. Before Kevin could respond, the ship's AI interrupted. Anomaly detected in nearby star system. Unknown energy signature present. The crew gathered on the bridge as they approached a massive space station, its architecture unlike anything they had ever seen. Curved spires and crystalline structures jutted out at impossible angles, defying the laws of physics. We should investigate, Kevin said, his scientific curiosity piqued. There might be clues about the superweapon. Luna frowned. It could be dangerous. We don't know what's in there. After a heated debate, the captain made the decision to dock with the station. As the airlock hissed open, Kevin, Luna, and a small team stepped into the alien structure. The interior was a maze of shimmering corridors and pulsating energy fields. They hadn't gone far when a holographic image flickered to life before them. A tall, ethereal being spoke in a language none of them understood, but its gestures conveyed a sense of urgency and warning. The AI is translating, one of the scientists announced. It's talking about a weapon, a last resort against some kind of cosmic threat. Kevin approached a nearby console, his fingers dancing over the alien symbols. I think I can access their database. There are coordinates here, but they're incomplete. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the station. Luna's eyes widened in recognition. Klingon warship approaching. We've been followed. The team raced back towards the airlock, but a group of armed Klingons materialized in their path. At their head stood a scarred warrior with cold, calculating eyes. I am Commander Kang, he snarled. Surrender the human and the traitor, and the rest of you may live. Chaos erupted as both sides opened fire. In the confusion, Kevin felt Luna's hand grasp his arm, pulling him down a side corridor. They ran, the sounds of battle fading behind them, until they found themselves in a small maintenance shaft. Pressed close together in the cramped space, Kevin could feel Luna's heart racing. Her eyes met his, filled with a mix of fear and something else, something that made his own pulse quicken. Kevin, she whispered, her face inches from his. An explosion rocked the station, cutting her off. Dust and debris rained down around them. Kang's destroying the station to flush us out, Luna said grimly. We're running out of time. Kevin's mind raced, taking in their surroundings. His eyes fell on a panel of pulsing lights nearby. Luna, I have an idea. If we can use the station's systems to create a diversion, we might be able to slip past Kang's forces and get back to our ship. Luna studied him for a moment, then nodded. It's risky, but it might be our only chance. What's the plan? As Kevin began to outline his strategy, they could hear the ominous sound of Klingon voices growing closer. Time was running out, and the fate of their mission, and potentially the galaxy, hung in the balance. With one last shared look of dedication, they set to work, their fingers intertwining as they reached for the alien controls. Kevin's fingers flew across the alien controls, Luna's hand steady on his shoulder. The station's systems responded to his touch, screens flickering to life with unfamiliar symbols. "There," Kevin said, pointing to a pulsing icon. "If we overload these power conduits, it should create enough chaos for us to slip away." Luna nodded, her eyes scanning the corridor. "Do it." With a deep breath, Kevin initiated the sequence. The station shuddered, alarms blaring as explosions echoed in the distance. They sprinted from their hiding place, Luna leading the way with a stolen Klingon disruptor in hand. They rounded a corner, coming face to face with a group of Klingon warriors. Luna reacted instantly, her disruptor finding its mark with deadly precision. Kevin ducked behind a bulkhead, his heart pounding. As a Klingon charged towards him, Kevin felt a surge of adrenaline. Without thinking, he lashed out, his fist connecting with the warrior's jaw in a perfect uppercut. The Klingon stumbled back, stunned. Luna dispatched the last of their attackers, then turned to Kevin with wide eyes. "Where did that come from?" Kevin stared at his hand, equally shocked. I don't know. It just happened." They had no time to dwell on it. The sounds of battle grew closer as they raced towards the Stargazer's docking bay. They burst through the airlock to find chaos erupting on the ship's bridge. Captain Sarah Chen barked orders as her crew returned fire against Klingon boarding parties. "Campbell! Luna! Get to your stations! We're leaving!" Kevin manned a console while Luna's fingers danced across the ship's weapons controls. The Stargazer shuddered as it detached from the station, Luna's precise targeting temporarily disabling the pursuing Klingon vessels. "Jumping to FTL in 3, 2, 1. The helmsman's voice was drowned out by the roar of the engines as stars streaked past the view screen. A violent jolt threw them off course. Sparks flew from consoles as the ship dropped out of FTL, tumbling through unfamiliar space. "Report!" Captain Chen demanded, steadying herself against her chair. "Drive malfunction, Captain," the chief engineer's voice crackled over the comm. "We've overshot our intended coordinates by a lot." As the crew worked to assess their situation, Kevin and Luna huddled with Dr. Aiden Foster, the ship's lead scientist, poring over the data they'd retrieved from the space station. "These coordinates are incomplete," Dr. Foster muttered, frowning at his display. "We need more information to pinpoint the superweapon's location." Luna's gaze fell on Kevin, her expression a mix of willpower and uncertainty. "There might be a way," she said softly. "Kevin's unique trait. If we study it further, we might find the key to decoding this data." Kevin felt heat rise to his cheeks as Dr. Foster raised an eyebrow. "What exactly are you proposing, Luna?" Luna straightened her shoulders. "A series of intimate experiments to study the quantum properties of Kevin's reproductive organs." The suggestion sent a ripple of tension through the bridge. Captain Chen's lips thinned as she considered the implications. "Are you certain this is necessary?" she asked, her voice low. Luna nodded. "It's our best chance, Captain. The prophecies speak of cosmic resonance. We need to understand it fully if we're to have any hope of neutralizing the superweapon." After a long moment, Captain Chen gave a curt nod. "Very well, but I want strict scientific protocols in place. This isn't a peep show." As Luna led Kevin to the medical bay, he felt a mix of nervousness and anticipation. She paused at the door, turning to face him. "Kevin, she began, her voice uncharacteristically hesitant. "I need you to know that this isn't just about the mission for me. My feelings for you, they're real." Kevin's breath caught in his throat. "Luna, I feel it too. But what about your people? The consequences?" She stepped closer, her hand resting on his chest. "Right now, all that matters is saving the galaxy. And you." As they prepared for the experiments, the ship's sensors suddenly blared to life. Dr. Foster's voice rang out over the intercom. "Captain, we're detecting a massive energy signature. It matches the theoretical output of the superweapon." Captain Chen's reply was immediate. "Location?" There was a pause before Dr. Foster responded, his voice tight with tension. "It's coming from the void, Captain, the region where the laws of physics break down." A heavy silence fell over the ship. Kevin and Luna exchanged glances, the weight of their mission pressing down on them. Captain Chen's voice cut through the quiet. All hands to stations. We need to make a decision. Do we proceed with the experiments or set course for the void? As the crew scrambled to their posts, Kevin felt the future of the galaxy resting on his shoulders. And elsewhere. Whatever they decided, he knew that the next few hours would change everything. Everything. With a deep breath, Kevin nodded to Luna. Let's do this. Captain Chen's voice crackled over the intercom. Attention all hands. We're pursuing a dual-pronged approach. Set course for the void while Dr. Foster oversees the experiments in the medical bay. As the Stargazer's engines hummed to life, Kevin and Luna made their way to the medical bay. The ship shuddered, claxons blaring as they entered the mysterious region known as the void. Gravitational anomalies detected, announced the helmsman, her voice strained. Compensating. In the medical bay, Kevin lay on the exam table, electrodes attached to his bare chest. Luna stood beside him, her fingers dancing over a control panel. Ready? She asked, her eyes meeting his. Kevin swallowed hard. As I'll ever be. Luna placed her hand on his arm and immediately the sensors lit up like a Christmas tree. Dr. Foster leaned in, his eyes wide. Fascinating, he murmured. The quantum resonance is off the charts. As Luna's touch lingered, the energy readings intensified. Kevin felt a warmth spreading through his body, unlike anything he'd experienced before. Luna gasped, clearly feeling it too. It's like we're connected, she whispered. Their eyes locked, and in that moment, the rest of the world fell away. Luna's fingers intertwined with Kevin's, and the sensors went haywire. Quantum energy surge detected, Dr. Foster exclaimed. It's incredible. Outside the medical bay, the ship lurched violently. Captain Chen's voice came over the comm, tinged with urgency. Engineering, report! We're losing power, Captain, the chief engineer responded. The void is interfering with our systems. In the medical bay, Kevin and Luna barely registered the commotion. Their focus was entirely on each other as they drew closer, their lips meeting in a passionate kiss. The energy readings spiked again, alarms blaring throughout the ship. Dr. Foster's eyes darted between the sensors and the couple. Captain, he called over the comm, I think we've found a solution to our power problems. Explain, Doctor, Chen demanded. The quantum energy generated by Kevin and Luna's interaction, it matches the void's frequency. If we can harness it, we might be able to stabilize our systems. There was a moment of silence before Chen responded. Do it. As engineers scrambled to modify the ship's power systems, Kevin and Luna's connection deepened. They shared whispered confessions and tender caresses, each touch generating waves of energy that coursed through the Stargazer. I never thought I'd feel this way about a human, Luna murmured, her fingers tracing Kevin's jaw. Kevin smiled, pulling her closer. And I never imagined falling for a Klingon warrior. Their lips met again, and the ship's lights flickered back to life. In the bridge, the crew cheered as systems came back online. We're stable, the helmsman announced, pushing deeper into the void. As the Stargazer pressed on, Kevin and Luna's intimacy intensified. Their bodies moved together in a primal dance, generating pulses of quantum energy that reinforced the ship's hull against the void's chaotic forces. On the bridge, the long-range sensors pinged. Captain, called out the science officer, I'm detecting a massive structure ahead. It matches the theoretical design of the superweapon. Chen leaned forward in her chair. On screen. The view screen flickered to life, revealing a colossal spherical object, pulsing with otherworldly energy. Before they could celebrate their discovery, another alarm sounded. Multiple contacts, shouted the tactical officer. Ancient defense systems activating. The Stargazer rocked as energy beams lanced out from the defensive grid. Chen barked orders, guiding the ship through the onslaught. To everyone's surprise, some of the beams seemed to bend around the Stargazer, repelled by the quantum field generated by Kevin and Luna. Fascinating, Dr. Foster's voice came over the comm. The defense systems can't lock onto us properly. It's as if Kevin and Luna's energy signature is confusing them. Chen's eyes narrowed. Can we use this to our advantage? If we maintain the field, Yes, I believe we can navigate through the defenses, Foster replied. Chen took a deep breath. Kevin, Luna, I know this is unorthodox, but we need you to maintain your connection. The fate of the mission depends on it. In the medical bay, Kevin and Luna exchanged a look of commitment. Their bodies moved together with renewed purpose, waves of pleasure and energy radiating through them and into the ship. The Stargazer weaved through the ancient defenses, its hull shimmering with the quantum field. The crew watched in awe as spatial distortions rippled around them. Time seemed to flow at different rates across the ship, and matter itself appeared to transmute before their eyes. As they approached the superweapon, a familiar energy signature appeared on their sensors. Chen's face hardened. Klingon warship detected, the tactical officer announced. It's Commander Kang's flagship. The massive Klingon vessel emerged from the swirling chaos of the void, weapons charged and locked onto the Stargazer. Red alert, Chen ordered. All hands, prepare for combat. Helm, get us to that superweapon. We need to dock before Kang can stop us. As the Stargazer raced towards the ancient structure, Kang's ship opened fire. Energy beams lanced out, some finding their mark while others were deflected by the quantum field. In the medical bay, Kevin and Luna clung to each other, their bodies trembling with exertion in the ship's violent maneuvers. Their eyes met, a silent understanding passing between them. Whatever came next, they would face it together. The Stargazer shuddered as it extended its docking clamps, latching onto the superweapon's surface. Kang's ship loomed ever closer, its weapons charging for another volley. Chen's voice rang out over the ship-wide comm. Boarding party, prepare for departure. We have one shot at this. Let's make it count. As the airlock hissed open, Kevin and Luna braced themselves for the challenges ahead. The fate of Earth, the galaxy, and their newfound love hung in the balance as they prepared to step into the unknown. Unknown as Kevin and Luna stepped through the airlock. The moment their feet touched the superweapon's surface, a violent shudder rocked the Stargazer. Alarms blared throughout the ship as Commander Kang's flagship unleashed a barrage of torpedoes. Brace for impact, Captain Chen's voice rang out over the comm. Kevin instinctively pulled Luna close, their bodies still humming with residual energy from their intimate connection. The quantum field surrounding the ship flared to life, deflecting most of the incoming fire. Yet the Stargazer wasn't left unscathed. Propulsion systems damaged, Captain, the chief engineer reported, his voice strained. We're operating at 30% capacity. Chen's response was immediate. Helm, evasive maneuvers. Maintain our approach to the superweapon at all costs. As the Stargazer weaved through space, Kevin and Luna found themselves being ushered back inside by a team of anxious-looking engineers. We need you to, one of them explained hurriedly. Your energy signature. It's the only thing keeping us alive out here. Before they could protest, Kevin and Luna were whisked away to a specially designed chamber near the ship's core. The small room hummed with advanced technology, its walls lined with pulsing conduits and glowing panels. We've reconfigured the ship's systems, another engineer explained, as he guided them to a central platform. This chamber will channel your combined energy more efficiently, stabilizing our defenses and powering critical systems. Kevin and Luna exchanged a look of understanding. Without a word, they embraced, their bodies fitting together perfectly. The moment they touched, the chamber came alive. Energy coursed through the ship, reinforcing the protective field and breathing new life into the failing systems. On the bridge, Captain Chen watched as the ship's power levels stabilized. Status report. Shields at 80% and holding, the tactical officer responded. Weapon systems back online. Propulsion still limited, but functional. Chen nodded grimly. It'll have to do. Take us in. The Stargazer limped toward the massive spherical structure, its surface pulsing with ethereal energy. As they approached, the superweapon seemed to react to their presence. Tendrils of light danced across its surface, coalescing around a previously hidden docking port. It's welcoming us, the science officer murmured in awe. With a series of metallic clangs, the Stargazer successfully docked with the ancient structure. Chen wasted no time assembling a boarding team, including Dr. Foster and a squad of security personnel. Maintain position, she ordered her bridge crew, and keep that quantum field active at all costs. As the boarding team prepared to enter the superweapon, alarms blared once again. The tactical officer's voice was tight with tension. "Captain, Commander Kang's ship is attaching itself to another docking port." Chen's fist tight. "So be it. We'll deal with them inside if we have to. Let's move." The team entered the superweapon, finding themselves in a vast, otherworldly corridor. The walls shimmered with an iridescent light, displaying holographic interfaces covered in alien symbols. Dr. Foster approached one of the interfaces, his eyes wide with fascination. As he reached out to touch it, the symbols began to shift and pulse in response to his proximity. "Incredible," he breathed. "These symbols, they're reacting to the quantum frequency emanating from Kevin and Luna." Before he could elaborate, the sound of disruptor fire echoed through the corridor. Commander Kang and his Klingon warriors had entered the structure, their faces set in relentless drive. "Take cover," Chen ordered, diving behind a twisted metal outcropping. The two groups engaged in a frantic firefight, using the alien environment as cover. Energy blasts ricocheted off the shimmering walls, creating dazzling light shows that only added to the chaos. As the battle raged, Dr. Foster continued to study the holographic interfaces, his mind racing. "Captain," he called out over the din, "I think I've figured it out. The symbols are responding to Kevin and Luna's energy signature. Their connection, it might be the key to controlling this weapon." Chen ducked as a disruptor blast sizzled past her head. "Can you access the controls?" Foster shook his head. "Not from here. We need to reach the central chamber." With revitalized commitment, Chen rallied her team. They pushed forward, trading fire with the Klingons as they delved deeper into the heart of the superweapon. Back on the Stargazer, Kevin and Luna's connection intensified. Their minds melded, overwhelmed by a flood of shared visions. They saw glimpses of the superweapon's history, its creation by an ancient, long-vanished race, its true purpose hidden beneath layers of time and myth. "It's not a weapon," Luna gasped, her eyes wide with realization. "Not really. It's a tool for reshaping reality itself." Kevin nodded, understanding flowing between them. "We could use it to end the conflict between humans and Klingons, to create a lasting peace." As this revelation washed over them, the superweapon began to stir. Energy tendrils spread throughout the structure, responding to the presence of both human and Klingon life signs. Deep within its core, an artificial intelligence, dormant for millennia, slowly awakened. The battling teams, unaware of the awakening intelligence, continued their desperate race toward the central chamber. Captain Chen and Commander Kang, driven by duty and the heat of combat, remained locked in their struggle for control. Little did they know that the true test, one that would determine the fate of both their species, was only just beginning. The ancient AI stirred, its processes accelerating as it sensed the unique energy signature emanating from the Stargazer. Suddenly, a violent tremor shook the entire structure. Captain Chen stumbled, barely maintaining her footing, as the corridor around them warped and shifted. Dr. Foster's eyes widened as he watched the holographic interfaces flare with blinding intensity. "Captain, something's happening," he shouted over the cacophony of creaking metal and humming energy. "The weapon is reacting to Kevin and Luna's connection." Before Chen could respond, a brilliant flash of light engulfed them. When it faded, they found themselves in a vast chamber at the heart of the superweapon. Commander Kang and his warriors materialized nearby, equally disoriented by the sudden translocation. At the center of the chamber, suspended in a crackling field of energy, were Kevin and Luna. Their bodies had undergone a startling transformation, shimmering with an otherworldly glow. As the assembled crews watched in awe, tendrils of energy wrapped around the couple, drawing them closer together. "No!" Chen cried out, reaching towards them instinctively, but it was too late. With a thunderous boom, Kevin and Luna's forms merged into a single radiant being. The hybrid entity opened its eyes, revealing irises that swirled with the combined essence of human and Klingon. "I am Kivuna," it spoke, its voice a harmonic blend of Kevin and Luna's. "I see now the truth of this place, the purpose of this creation." Kivuna raised its hands, and the chamber came alive with holographic displays. The superweapons systems responded to its commands, interfacing directly with the hybrid being's thoughts. "This is not a weapon of destruction," Kavuna explained, gesturing to the swirling data around them. "It is a tool of creation, of harmony. Watch." With a mere thought, Kavuna activated the superweapons communication array. A message of peace and unity burst forth, bypassing conventional channels to reach Earth and the Klingon homeworld simultaneously. Chen and Kang exchanged bewildered looks as reports flooded in from their respective ships. The ongoing conflict between humans and Klingons had ground to a halt. All eyes turned towards the miraculous event unfolding in the void. "This is unprecedented," Kang growled, his warrior's instincts warring with the awe inspired by Kevuna's display. Chen nodded, her tactical mind already racing with the implications. "We need to seize this opportunity. Commander Kang, I propose an immediate ceasefire." Kang hesitated for a moment before nodding gruffly. "Agreed. I will order my warriors to stand down." As the two leaders began discussing their next steps, Dr. Foster approached Kavuna cautiously. "Kevin? Luna? Are you still in there?" Kavuna turned its gaze upon the scientist, a smile playing across its luminous features. "We are here, Doctor. We are more than we were, yet still ourselves. But this form, it cannot last." As if to underscore Kavuna's words, the chamber shuddered. The superweapons systems surged with power, responding to the hybrid entity's presence. Massive sections of the structure began to shift and reconfigure. "What's happening?" Chen demanded, steadying herself against a nearby console. "The weapon reveals its true purpose," Kavuna explained, its voice strained. "It is a terraforming system, designed to create new worlds, but the process requires immense energy that our merged form cannot sustain indefinitely." Dr. Foster's eyes widened with realization. "We need to separate them, quickly. If we don't, the strain could cause permanent damage to their bodies and minds." As Foster and his hastily assembled team of human and Klingon scientists worked to devise a separation procedure, the superweapons transformation continued. The void around them began to stabilize, coalescing into the beginnings of a new solar system. Kavuna guided the crews in activating the terraforming protocols, its knowledge of the ancient systems proving invaluable. Below them, a fledgling planet began to take shape, its surface roiling with geological activity. "Incredible," Chen breathed, watching the newborn world through a view screen. "But at what cost?" Her words proved prophetic as alarms blared throughout the transformed space station. Kavuna's form flickered, the strain of maintaining the merge and controlling the terraforming process taking its toll. "We're losing them!" Dr. Foster shouted, his fingers flying over the jury-rigged separation equipment. "Captain, we need more power!" Chen's face hardened as she made a difficult decision. "Divert power from the Stargazer's life support systems. Give them everything we've got." As Foster's team initiated the separation procedure, arcs of energy crackled between Kevin and Luna's entwined forms. The newborn planet below entered a period of rapid, unstable growth. Continents formed and collided, oceans filled, and an atmosphere swirled into existence at an alarming rate. Suddenly, a commotion erupted from the Klingon ranks. Kang's second-in-command, Korax, had rallied a group of hardline warriors who refused to accept the possibility of peace. "Traitors!" Korax roared, raising his disruptor. "We will not surrender to these weaklings." As Kang struggled to contain the mutiny, Chen realized that the fate of this fragile peace hung in the balance. The outcome of Kevin and Luna's separation would determine not only their survival, but the future of human-Klingon relations and the very existence of the newborn world below. With time running out and resources dwindling, Dr. Foster initiated the final stage of the separation procedure. Energy arced wildly between Kevin and Luna's forms as their individual consciousnesses began to re-emerge. The space station shuddered violently, systems overloading under the strain. "Hold on!" Foster yelled, his voice barely audible over the cacophony of alarms and creaking metal. "We're almost there." As the separation reached its critical moment, the fledgling planet entered a phase of catastrophic instability. Earthquakes rocked its surface, volcanoes erupted, and storms raged across newly formed oceans. The fate of 2 individuals, 2 crews, and an entire world hung in the balance as the universe itself seemed to hold its breath. Breath. In that moment, a blinding surge of energy erupted from the separation apparatus, engulfing Kevin and Luna's merged form. The shockwave rippled through the station, throwing everyone off balance. Captain Chen gripped a nearby console to steady herself, as the floor beneath her feet shuddered violently. "Foster! What's happening?" she shouted over the deafening roar of overloading systems. The scientist's eyes were wide with a mixture of awe and terror. "The separation! It's triggering a massive energy cascade." As if in response to his words, Kevin and Luna's hybrid form split apart with a thunderous crack. Their bodies, now separate but still glowing with residual energy, collapsed onto the floor. The violent separation sent another pulse of energy through the station, causing consoles to spark and holographic displays to flicker wildly. Alarms blared as the station's core began to destabilize. Chen's tactical training kicked in, and she quickly assessed the situation. With a grim expression, she activated her comm badge. "All hands, this is Captain Chen. Initiate immediate evacuation procedures. Repeat, all personnel to evacuation stations now." She turned to Commander Kang, who was already barking orders to his own crew in guttural Klingon. Their eyes met, and a moment of understanding passed between them. "Commander," Chen said, her voice tight with urgency, "we need to coordinate our efforts. Neither of our ships can sustain life support for long." Kang nodded gruffly. "Agreed, Captain. We must get our people to safety." As they began organizing the evacuation, chaos erupted in the docking bays. Korax, Kang's mutinous second-in-command, had rallied a group of hardline warriors who refused to cooperate with the humans. "Death before dishonor," Korax roared, his disruptor aimed at a group of Starfleet officers trying to board an escape pod. "We will not flee with these patak." Kang's face contorted with rage. "Korax, stand down immediately!" But the rebellious Klingon was beyond reason. He fired his weapon, narrowly missing a human engineer. In that instant, Kang made a decision that would change the course of history. He grabbed a phaser from a nearby Starfleet security officer and stood shoulder to shoulder with Captain Chen. "Together," Kang growled, his eyes locked on Korax. Chen nodded, her own weapon at the ready. Together. The two leaders advanced on the mutineers, their combined presence a powerful symbol of unity. Starfleet officers and loyal Klingon warriors fell in behind them, forming a united front against Korax and his followers. "Last chance, Korax," Kang bellowed. "Lower your weapons and board the escape pods, or face the consequences of your actions." For a tense moment, it seemed Korax might choose to fight. But as he looked around and saw humans and Klingons standing as one, his persistence wavered. With a snarl of frustration, he dropped his disruptor. "This isn't over," Korax spat as he was restrained. "You're right," Chen replied coolly. "It's just the beginning." With the mutiny quelled, the evacuation proceeded swiftly. Escape pods launched from both ships, streaking toward the surface of the newly formed planet below. The once turbulent world was now a swirling mass of blues, greens, and browns, its rapid development a testament to the power unleashed by Kevin and Luna's separation. Back in the control room, Dr. Foster and his Klingon counterpart, Kavor, worked feverishly to stabilize the station's core. Sweat beaded on Foster's brow as his fingers flew over the alien controls. "It's no use," Kavor growled. "The energy output is too unstable. We cannot contain it." Foster's eyes darted to the unconscious forms of Kevin and Luna, still glowing faintly on the floor. A spark of inspiration hit him. "Wait, look at their energy signature," he exclaimed, pointing to a fluctuating graph on a nearby display. "It's perfectly balanced between human and Klingon patterns. If we can re-establish their connection, they might be able to channel the excess energy." Kavor's eyes widened in understanding. Yes, their hybrid form was able to control the station's systems. Perhaps their combined energy could stabilize the core. As the two scientists hurried to implement their plan, Kevin and Luna began to stir. They groaned in unison, their eyes fluttering open to take in the chaos around them. What happened?" Luna mumbled, her voice weak. Kevin reached out to her instinctively, their fingers intertwining. As they touched, a spark of energy passed between them, and both gasped at the sudden flood of shared sensations. Foster knelt beside them, his face etched with urgency. "Kevin, Luna, listen carefully. The station is about to tear itself apart, and the planet below is still unstable. We need your help." He quickly explained the situation, watching as understanding dawned in their eyes. Kevin and Luna exchanged a look, a whole conversation passing between them without a word spoken. "We'll do it," they said in unison, their voices stronger now. As Foster and Kavor helped them to their feet, the station's AI spoke, its voice echoing through the chamber. "Warning, core stability at critical levels. Imminent system failure. Only authorized energy signature can prevent total collapse." Kevin and Luna moved to the center of the room, standing before the pulsing heart of the station's control systems. They faced each other, hands clasped tightly, their bodies beginning to glow with increasing intensity. "Are you ready?" Kevin asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Luna nodded, her eyes shining with a mixture of fear and commitment. "Together," she replied. As their lips met, a surge of energy exploded outward from their entwined forms. The station's systems responded immediately, the erratic pulses of power smoothing into a steady, harmonious flow. Foster and Kavor watched in awe as holographic displays stabilized, showing the planet below entering a period of calm development. Kevin and Luna's consciousness expanded, encompassing the entire station and the world beneath them. They felt the ebb and flow of the terraforming process, guiding it with gentle nudges of their combined will. Their very essence seemed to merge with the fabric of the new planet, imprinting their unique genetic code onto its developing ecosystem. As the danger passed and systems stabilized, Kevin and Luna slowly separated. They stood forehead to forehead, breathing heavily, their bodies still faintly luminescent. A new awareness lingered between them, a permanent connection forged in the crucible of their shared experience. "I can feel you," Luna whispered, awe in her voice. "Your thoughts, your emotions." Kevin nodded, equally amazed. "It's like we're still one being, somehow." Their moment of intimacy was interrupted by Foster's excited voice. "You did it! The station is stable, and the planet, it's beautiful." On the newly formed world below, now christened Harmony by the combined crews, Captain Chen and Commander Kang stood side by side. They watched as the turbulent atmosphere cleared, revealing a landscape of vibrant continents and shimmering oceans. "It appears we have much to learn from each other," Kang said, his gruff voice tinged with newfound respect. Chen nodded, a small smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "Indeed, Commander, this is just the beginning of a new era." Back on the station, Kevin and Luna prepared to join the others on the surface of the world they had helped create. As they made their way to the last remaining escape pod, the station's AI spoke once more. "Human Kevin, Klingon Luna," it intoned, its voice carrying a hint of something almost like emotion. "Your unique bond has fulfilled the primary function of this installation. However, your journey is far from complete." Kevin and Luna paused, exchanging a puzzled look. "What do you mean?" Kevin asked. The AI's response was cryptic. "The merge of human and Klingon energies has unlocked potential beyond the scope of this system's original programming. Your bond may hold the key to reshaping the very fabric of the galaxy itself." Before they could ask for clarification, the AI fell silent. Kevin and Luna stood there for a moment, the weight of this new revelation settling over them. Finally, Luna spoke, her voice filled with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. "Well," she said, squeezing Kevin's hand, "it seems our adventure is just beginning." As they boarded the escape pod, neither Kevin nor Luna could shake the feeling that their actions today had set in motion events that would echo across the stars for generations to come. The pod's hatch sealed with a hiss, and they began their descent to the surface of Harmony, where a new chapter in the history of both their peoples awaited. As the escape pod hurtled toward the surface of Harmony, Kevin and Luna's hands remained intertwined, their bodies still faintly glowing with residual energy. The pod's small viewport offered a breathtaking view of the newly formed planet below, its swirling atmosphere gradually clearing to reveal vibrant continents and shimmering oceans. Suddenly, the pod's communication system crackled to life. The familiar voice of the station's AI filled the cramped space, causing both Kevin and Luna to start. "Human Kevin, Klingon Luna," the AI intoned, its voice carrying an urgency they hadn't heard before. "Your departure has triggered a hidden protocol within this installation's systems." Kevin and Luna exchanged a puzzled glance. "What kind of protocol?" Kevin asked, his brow furrowing. The AI's response sent a shiver down their spines. "Your unique bond has activated a dormant network of stations similar to this one, scattered throughout the galaxy. Each contains terraforming capabilities and vast stores of knowledge beyond your current comprehension." Luna's eyes widened. "A network of stations? How is that possible?" "The details are complex," the AI replied. "What matters now is that you two are the key to controlling this galactic network. Your combined human-Klingon energy signature is the only force capable of interfacing with this ancient technology." As the implications of this revelation sank in, the escape pod shuddered violently. Kevin gripped the control panel, steadying their descent. "We're entering Harmony's atmosphere," he announced, his voice tense with concentration. Luna, however, was still focused on the AI's words. "What does this mean for us? For everyone on Harmony?" The AI's tone grew somber. "The activation of the network has triggered a fail-safe mechanism. A powerful signal has been broadcast across the galaxy, alerting other advanced civilizations to the network's reawakening." Kevin's head snapped up from the controls. "Other civilizations? Who?" "The signal has reached the Klingon High Council on Konos, as well as Earth's governments," the AI explained. "Both species' fleets are mobilizing as we speak." Luna's face paled. "They'll be coming here. For the station. For us." As if on cue, the pod's communication system crackled again. This time, it was Captain Chen's voice that filled the small space. "Kevin? Luna, do you copy? We've just received urgent communications from Earth Command. They're ordering us to secure control of the station and this galactic network at all costs." Before either of them could respond, Commander Kang's gruff voice cut in. "The High Council has issued similar orders. We are to claim the station for the Empire by any means necessary." Kevin and Luna shared a look of alarm. The fragile peace they had worked so hard to establish was suddenly hanging by a thread. "Captain Commander," Kevin began, choosing his words carefully, "we've just learned some critical information about the station and the network. We need to meet as soon as we land." "Agreed," Chen replied. "We'll convene at the command center immediately upon your arrival." As the communication cut off, the escape pod broke through the last layer of clouds. The landscape of Harmony spread out before them, a patchwork of lush forests, rolling plains, and crystalline lakes. In the distance, they could see the fledgling settlement where humans and Klingons were working side by side to build a new future. Luna squeezed Kevin's hand. "Everything's about to change, isn't it?" Kevin nodded grimly. "I think it already has." The pod touched down with a gentle thud on the outskirts of the settlement. As Kevin and Luna emerged, they were greeted by a mix of human and Klingon faces, all wearing expressions of concern and curiosity. Captain Chen and Commander Kang strode forward, their postures tense. "We need to talk," Chen said without preamble. "The situation has become complicated." As they made their way to the command center, Kevin and Luna felt a strange sensation washing over them. The faint glow that had surrounded them since their separation on the station began to intensify. They exchanged a startled look as they realized they could sense each other's thoughts and emotions with newfound clarity. "Something's happening to us," Luna whispered, her voice a mix of awe and apprehension. Kevin nodded, feeling the same surge of power coursing through his veins. "I think our connection to the station is growing stronger, even from down here." As they entered the command center, a holographic display flickered to life, showing a real-time view of the space around Harmony. Kevin and Luna gasped in unison as they saw dozens of ships appearing at the edge of the system. Starfleet vessels and Klingon warbirds, all converging on their location. But it was the cluster of unknown signatures approaching from the far reaches of the galaxy that sent a chill through everyone in the room. The AI's voice, somehow projected through the settlement's communication system, filled the air with a dire warning. "Attention," it announced. Long-range scans have detected an armada of ships belonging to the progenitors, the ancient race that created this station network. They have awakened and are returning to reclaim their technology. The room erupted into a cacophony of voices, humans and Klingons alike expressing shock and fear. Captain Chen raised her hands, calling for silence. "Kevin, Luna," she said, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "You two seem to be at the center of all this. What exactly is going on?" As Kevin opened his mouth to explain, he felt a sudden, overwhelming surge of energy. His vision blurred, and he heard Luna gasp beside him. In an instant, their minds were filled with a vast influx of information, schematics of the station, star charts of the entire galaxy, and the fundamental principles of the progenitors' advanced technology. When their vision cleared, they found themselves standing at the center of the room, their bodies glowing brightly, hands clasped tightly together. The assembled humans and Klingons stared at them in awe and trepidation. "We can control the network," Luna said, her voice resonating with newfound power. "We can reshape the galaxy, create new worlds, foster peace between species. But we need time," Kevin added, feeling the weight of their responsibility settling on his shoulders. "Time to master these abilities, to understand the full extent of what we can do." Commander Kang stepped forward, his expression a mix of wonder and concern. "Time may be a luxury we don't have. The progenitors are coming, and our own people may turn against each other in their rush to claim this power." Captain Chen nodded grimly. "We need to prepare for the possibility of conflict on multiple fronts. But more importantly, we need to decide our next move carefully. The fate of not just Harmony, but potentially the entire galaxy, rests in our hands." As if in response to her words, the holographic display zoomed out, revealing the vast network of stations scattered across the galaxy. Each point of light represented a potential new world, a chance for exploration and growth. But it also represented a target, a prize that countless species would be willing to fight and die for. Kevin and Luna stood at the center of it all, their transformed bodies a testament to the power they now wielded. They could feel the pull of the station above, calling them back to fully interface with its systems. At the same time, they felt the weight of responsibility to protect the fragile peace they had helped create on Harmony. As the assembled leaders began to debate their options, Kevin and Luna shared a silent look of understanding. They knew that whatever path they chose would shape the future of not just their two species, but of all life in the galaxy. The true test of their newfound powers, and of the bond between human and Klingon, was only just beginning. The true test of their newfound powers, and of the bond between human and Klingon, was only just starting. As if in response to their thoughts, the holographic display flickered, zooming in on the approaching progenitor fleet. The massive ships dwarfed even the largest Klingon and Federation vessels, their sleek designs hinting at technology far beyond anything Kevin or Luna had ever seen. "We need to act now," Kevin said, his voice resonating with newfound authority. "Luna and I have to return to the station. It's our only chance to protect Harmony and everyone on it." Captain Chen stepped forward, her face etched with concern. "What exactly do you plan to do?" Luna squeezed Kevin's hand, their shared consciousness allowing her to understand his intentions instantly. "We're going to create a wormhole," she explained, her eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. "It's our best chance to evacuate the planet while we fortify the station's defenses." Commander Kang's eyes widened. "Create a wormhole? Is such a thing even possible?" "With the station's technology, yes," Kevin nodded, "but it's going to push us to our limits." Without waiting for further discussion, Kevin and Luna's bodies began to shimmer with energy. In a flash of light, they vanished from the command center, reappearing moments later in the heart of the orbital station. As they interfaced with the station's systems, the AI's voice filled their minds. "Warning, the proposed actions will place extreme stress on your physiology. Proceeding may result in irreversible changes to your biological makeup." Kevin and Luna shared a look of grit. "We understand the risks," Luna replied, "but we have no choice." Their bodies began to glow more intensely as they channeled the station's immense power. Kevin felt a surge of energy coursing through him, unlike anything he had ever experienced. Beside him, Luna's form seemed to blur, her features shifting in ways that defied explanation. On the surface of Harmony, Captain Chen and Commander Kang sprang into action. "Attention all personnel," Chen's voice rang out over the settlement's communication system. "We are initiating an immediate evacuation. This is not a drill. Report to your designated assembly points and prepare for departure." Kang barked orders to his Klingon warriors, organizing them into teams to assist with the evacuation and establish a defensive perimeter around the settlement. Humans and Klingons worked side by side, their previous animosities forgotten in the face of this new threat. As the evacuation efforts intensified, the station's energy output surged dramatically. The lead progenitor ship, detecting this spike in power, fired a warning shot. The energy beam narrowly missed the station, instead impacting Harmony's surface with devastating force. The ground shook violently, fissures opening up across the newly formed landscape. Captain Chen stumbled, nearly falling as she helped a group of colonists to safety. "We need to hurry!" she shouted over the rumbling of the Earth. "This planet won't hold together much longer." Aboard the station, Kevin and Luna's transformation accelerated. Their skin took on a luminescent quality, their features blending into something both familiar and alien. As their connection to the ancient technology deepened, they found they could manipulate the station's systems with unprecedented precision. "Activating planetary shields," Kevin announced, his voice overlaid with a strange harmonic quality. A shimmering barrier sprang to life around Harmony, deflecting subsequent attacks from the progenitor fleet. Luna focused her attention on the wormhole creation process. The fabric of space-time began to warp and twist before them, a swirling vortex of energy coalescing into a stable passage. "Wormhole stabilizing," she reported, "but maintaining it is going to take everything we've got." The progenitor fleet, realizing the threat posed by Kevin and Luna's actions, launched a full-scale assault on the station. Energy weapons bombarded the shields, causing power fluctuations that threatened to disrupt the wormhole. As Kevin and Luna struggled to maintain their concentration, a group of progenitor ships broke away from the main fleet, descending towards Harmony's surface. The lead ship transmitted a message, its ancient language incomprehensible to most, but not to Luna. Her enhanced mind deciphered the transmission, understanding flooding through her. "Kevin," she gasped, "not all the progenitors want to attack. Some of them, they want to form an alliance." Before they could process this new information, the station rocked with another volley of weapons fire. Alarms blared as the shield's integrity began to falter. "We can't maintain both the planetary shield and the wormhole," Kevin realized, his transformed features contorting with the effort of holding everything together. "One of us has to stay here while the other guides the evacuation." Luna met his gaze, understanding the gravity of their situation. They had pushed their newfound abilities to the limit and now faced an impossible choice. Separating could weaken their connection, potentially jeopardizing everything they had fought for. As they stood on the precipice of their decision, the wormhole pulsed with unstable energy. On Harmony's surface, the combined human-Klingon population prepared for evacuation, their fate hanging in the balance. Captain Chen and Commander Kang watched the sky anxiously, torn between leading their people to safety and exploring the possibility of diplomatic contact with the dissenting progenitors. The progenitor fleet loomed ever closer, their weapons primed for another devastating assault. In this moment of crisis, Kevin and Luna knew that their next action would determine not just their own fate, but that of two species, a newly born planet, and potentially the balance of power throughout the galaxy. The weight of their decision pressed upon them, the fate of countless lives hanging in the balance. Kevin and Luna exchanged a look of understanding, their enhanced connection allowing them to communicate without words. They knew what had to be done. "We have to separate," Kevin said, his voice resonating with newfound power. "I'll stay here to maintain the wormhole and defend the station. Luna, you need to go to the surface." Luna nodded, her luminescent skin pulsing with energy. "I'll coordinate the evacuation and try to communicate with any progenitors who might be open to dialogue." As they released their grip on each other's hands, a momentary surge of pain coursed through them. Their shared consciousness wavered, but a thin thread of connection remained, allowing them to maintain a telepathic link across the vast distance. Kevin turned his attention to the station's systems, his transformed body melding seamlessly with the ancient technology. He poured his energy into strengthening the shields and stabilizing the wormhole, feeling the strain of the dual tasks on his newly augmented physiology. Luna's form shimmered and vanished, reappearing moments later on Harmony's surface amidst the chaos of the evacuation. Her hybrid body quickly adapted to the planet's atmosphere, granting her enhanced strength and agility. She sprinted towards Captain Chen and Commander Kang, who were directing the frantic efforts to board the evacuation ships. "Captain, Commander?" Luna called out, her voice carrying over the din of the panicked crowd. "I have information about the progenitors. Not all of them are hostile." Chen's eyes widened in surprise. "What do you mean?" Luna quickly explained the presence of Zix's faction, the Peacekeepers, and their belief in guiding younger races rather than reclaiming their technology by force. "If we can establish communication with them, we might be able to buy ourselves some time." Kang growled, his hand instinctively moving to his disruptor. "And how do we know this isn't a trap?" "We don't," Luna admitted, "but it's our best chance at survival right now." As if in response to her words, a group of progenitor ships broke away from the main fleet, descending towards Harmony's surface. Luna closed her eyes, concentrating on the strange new language that had been downloaded into her mind during her transformation. She broadcast a message of peace, hoping it would reach the right ears. In orbit, Kevin grappled with the station's weapon systems, his consciousness expanding to fill every circuit and conduit. He unleashed a barrage of energy beams at the attacking progenitor ships, watching with a mix of awe and horror as several of the massive vessels erupted into flames. The effort of maintaining both the wormhole and the station's defenses took its toll. Kevin felt his body changing, merging more deeply with the station's systems. His human form began to blur, becoming more machine than flesh. On the surface, Luna's message had the desired effect. A sleek shuttle descended from one of the Peacekeeper ships, landing in a clear area near the evacuation site. 3 figures emerged, Zix and 2 other progenitors. Luna approached them, flanked by Chen and Kang. "Welcome to Harmony," she said in the progenitor language, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. Zix inclined his head, his otherworldly features inscrutable. "We come in peace," he replied, "but time is short. We must speak of the true threat that faces us all." As Luna translated for Chen and Kang, a commotion erupted near the wormhole entrance. A group of Klingons, led by the warrior Korax, had broken away from the evacuation line and were attempting to seize control of the passage. "This is our salvation," Korax roared, brandishing his bat'leth. "The Empire must be the first through the wormhole." Kang's eyes flashed with anger. "Patak," he spat. "You would dishonor us all with your cowardice." Without hesitation, Kang charged towards Korax, meeting him in fierce hand-to-hand combat. The 2 Klingons clashed in a blur of motion, their battle a testament to the strength and skill of their warrior culture. Captain Chen, seeing the potential for the situation to spiral out of control, quickly organized a joint human-Klingon security team. "Contain Korax's followers," she ordered. "But remember, we're all in this together. Use minimal force." As the security team moved to subdue the rogue Klingons, Luna turned back to Zix and his companions. "Please," she said urgently, "tell us what you know." Zix's eyes gleamed with an ancient wisdom. "The station network is more than a means of creating habitable worlds," he began. "It is a defense system created to protect the galaxy from a threat beyond your imagining." Luna listened intently as Zix spoke of the World Eater, a cosmic entity of unimaginable power that consumed entire planets. The station network, he explained, was designed to detect and combat this ancient evil. As this revelation spread among the gathered humans and Klingons, a sense of unity began to form. The petty squabbles over who would enter the wormhole first faded in the face of this greater shared purpose. In orbit, Kevin felt the station systems slowly consuming his humanity. Through his telepathic link with Luna, he shared his struggle, his fear of losing himself to the ancient technology. Luna's heart raced as she sensed Kevin's distress. She knew that his complete merger with the station might be necessary to save everyone, but the thought of losing him tore at her soul. Suddenly, a new presence made itself known. The leader of the main progenitor fleet, the being known as the Archon, opened a communication channel with Kevin. "Surrender control of the network," the Archon's voice boomed, echoing through Kevin's transformed consciousness. "Only we have the right to wield such power." Kevin, now more machine than man, faced an impossible choice: surrender to the progenitors and potentially doom humanity and the Klingons, or use his newfound power to force a retreat and risk losing the last shred of his humanity. As the evacuation neared completion and the wormhole's stability reached a critical point, Luna felt a powerful pull through her connection with Kevin. She realized that reuniting with him might be the key to preserving his humanity and unlocking the full potential of their hybrid abilities. "Captain," Luna said urgently, turning to Chen, "I need to get back to the station, now." Chen nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. "Go. We'll finish the evacuation." As Luna prepared to transport back to the station, she carried with her the hopes of both humans and Klingons. The fate of two species, the balance of power with the progenitors, and the defense against the looming threat of the World Eater all hinged on her reunion with Kevin. With a final look at the chaotic scene on Harmony's surface, Klingons and humans working side by side, the peacekeeper progenitors sharing their knowledge, and the wormhole pulsing with energy, Luna activated the transport sequence. Her body shimmered and vanished, racing against time to reach Kevin before it was too late. As Luna's form rematerialized on the station, she was immediately struck by the chaos surrounding her. The once pristine corridors were now a maze of flickering lights and exposed circuitry, the very structure of the station seeming to pulse with raw energy. She raced towards the central control room, her hybrid physiology granting her unprecedented speed and agility. As she ran, Luna could feel Kevin's presence growing stronger, their telepathic link intensifying with each step. When she finally burst into the control room, Luna's breath caught in her throat. Kevin stood at the center, but he was barely recognizable. His body had merged with the station's systems, a fusion of flesh and advanced technology. Tendrils of energy coursed through his form, connecting him to every part of the orbital structure. Their eyes met, and a surge of energy passed between them. In that moment, Kevin's fragmented consciousness seemed to stabilize, his features softening as he recognized her. "Luna," he whispered, his voice carrying an otherworldly resonance. "You came back." She approached him cautiously, her hand outstretched. "Of course I did. We're in this together, remember?" As their fingers touched, a shockwave of energy rippled through the station. Luna gasped as she felt her own body beginning to change, her hybrid physiology resonating with the ancient technology. Outside, the battle raged on. The progenitor fleet, led by the Archon, continued their relentless assault on the station. Kevin's merged consciousness allowed him to control the station's defenses with unprecedented precision, but the strain was evident on his transformed features. Luna placed her other hand on Kevin's chest, feeling the pulsing energy beneath. "Let me in," she said softly. "Let me help you." As their connection deepened, Luna's consciousness began to expand. She could feel the station's systems as if they were extensions of her own body. Together, she and Kevin began to unlock hidden capabilities, their shared hybrid energy signature amplifying the station's power. Suddenly, an alarm blared through the control room. A massive energy surge had been detected, emanating from a distant point in space. Kevin's eyes widened in realization. "The World Eater," he said, his voice filled with dread. "It's coming." Luna's mind raced as she processed the information flowing through the station's sensors. The cosmic predator was hurtling towards Harmony at an alarming speed, drawn by the activation of the station network. As they grappled with this new threat, a communication channel opened. The Archon's voice boomed through the control room, filled with a mixture of awe and urgency. "Hybrid ones," the ancient being intoned, "we have witnessed your mastery over the station. Perhaps we were hasty in our judgment." Kevin and Luna exchanged a glance, their merged consciousness allowing for instant communication. They understood the gravity of the moment. "What are you proposing, Archon?" Kevin asked, his voice carrying the weight of the station's power. "An alliance," the Archon replied. Against the World Eater, your unique abilities, combined with our ancient knowledge, may be the galaxy's only hope. As they considered the offer, Luna's attention was drawn to the wormhole. The last of the evacuees were preparing to enter, led by Captain Chen, Commander Kang, and the Peacekeeper delegation. "We need to make a decision," Luna said urgently. "The evacuation is almost complete." Kevin nodded, his form shimmering as he adjusted the station's defenses. "Archon, we accept your offer of alliance, but we need to act fast." The Archon's agreement was swift, and immediately the progenitor fleet's attacks ceased. Instead, they began to move into defensive positions around the station and Harmony. As the final group of evacuees entered the wormhole, Captain Chen's voice crackled over the communication system. "Kevin, Luna, we're through. What's your status?" Luna responded, her voice steady despite the chaos around them. "We've formed an alliance with the progenitors. The World Eater is approaching, but we're preparing to face it." "Understood," Chen replied, her voice tinged with concern. "We'll maintain contact from the other side. Good luck." As the wormhole pulsed with the last of the evacuees, Kevin and Luna turned their full attention to the approaching threat. The station's long-range sensors provided a terrifying view of the World Eater, a cosmic anomaly of unimaginable size and power. "We need more power," Kevin said, his merge form pulsing with energy. "Luna, if we fully merge with the station, we might be able to create a repulsive field strong enough to halt its advance." Luna understood the implications immediately. Fully merging with the station could mean losing their individual identities, becoming one with the ancient technology forever. Before they could make a decision, the Archon's voice rang out again. "Wait," the ancient being said. "We have technology that might preserve your consciousnesses during the merge. Allow us to assist you." As Kevin and Luna considered this offer, a new alarm blared through the station. A group of progenitor ships had broken away from the main fleet, their weapons charged and aimed directly at the station. "Extremists," the Archon explained, its voice filled with regret. "They believe only pure progenitor control can protect the universe. They seek to destroy you before you can fully harness the station's power." Kevin and Luna stood at the precipice of their greatest challenge yet. The World Eater approached, the extremist progenitors prepared to attack, and the destiny of the universe hung in the balance. Their decision in the next few moments would determine not only their own fate, but that of countless civilizations across the cosmos. As they looked into each other's eyes, their hybrid bodies glowing with power, Kevin and Luna knew that whatever they decided, they would face it together. The station hummed around them, ready to be transformed into the ultimate weapon against cosmic destruction. All they had to do was take the final step. In that moment of unity, their decision crystallized. "We have to do this," Luna said, her voice resolute. Kevin nodded, his transformed body pulsing with energy. Together, they turned to face the Archon, their merged consciousness allowing for instant communication. "We accept your offer," Kevin announced, his voice carrying the weight of their shared purpose. The Archon's response was immediate. A beam of shimmering energy shot from the lead progenitor ship, enveloping Kevin and Luna in a cocoon of iridescent light. As the protective field stabilized around them, they began the final merge with the station. Their bodies dissolved into pure energy, intertwining with the station's systems. The process was both exhilarating and terrifying, their individual consciousnesses expanding to fill every circuit and conduit of the massive structure. As they merged, their shared memories flashed before them. Their first meeting, the discovery of Luna's hybrid nature, their struggles and triumphs, all coalescing into a singular purpose. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the station. The extremist progenitor faction had launched their attack, energy weapons battering against the station's shields. But Kevin and Luna, now one with the station, deflected the assault with ease. They reshaped the station's structure, transforming it into a crystalline lattice that amplified their power. As the transformation neared completion, they sensed the World Eater entering the system. Its massive form blotted out distant stars, a cosmic predator of unimaginable scale. Kevin and Luna reached out with their newfound awareness, activating the station network across the galaxy. A web of energy connected the scattered stations, channeling power towards their position. With a thought, they extended tendrils of pure energy towards the approaching World Eater. The cosmic entity recoiled as it encountered the repulsive field generated by Kevin and Luna's merge form. For the first time in eons, the World Eater found itself unable to devour its prey. As the cosmic titan struggled against the field, Kevin and Luna delved deeper into the station's ancient knowledge. They uncovered the true purpose of the network, hidden for millennia. The realization struck them like a bolt of lightning. The station network was never meant to destroy the World Eater, but to communicate with it. Using their unique hybrid perspective, they began to interpret the cosmic entity's thoughts and emotions. They saw flashes of its history, a being born in the depths of space, the last of its kind, driven by an insatiable hunger, born of loneliness and fear. With this understanding, Kevin and Luna altered their approach. Instead of repelling the World Eater, they extended an offer of symbiosis. They reshaped the station network, transforming it into a massive, habitable structure capable of sustaining the cosmic entity without the need for planetary destruction. The World Eater halted its advance, sensing the genuine offer of companionship and sustenance. Slowly, cautiously, it began to merge with the reconfigured station network. Its consciousness intertwined with the galactic web created by Kevin and Luna, forming a cosmic tapestry of unprecedented scale. As this incredible transformation unfolded, the extremist progenitor faction ceased their attack. They watched in awe as the hybrid pair achieved what their ancestors could only dream of: true communion with the cosmic forces that shaped the universe. With the immediate threats neutralized, Kevin and Luna turned their attention to the evacuated population of Harmony. They reopened the wormhole, their enhanced consciousness easily manipulating the fabric of space-time. As the human-Klingon alliance began to return, they found Harmony transformed. The planet's ecosystem had been stabilized and enriched by the power flowing through the station network, turning it into a veritable paradise. Captain Chen and Commander Kang, along with Zix and the Peacekeeper delegation, were the first to step onto the new Harmony. They marveled at the lush landscapes and crystal-clear waters, evidence of the incredible power now at Kevin and Luna's command. As the settlers began to establish their new homes, Kevin and Luna maintained their vigil. Their merged consciousness, preserved within the station network, allowed them to watch over not just Harmony, but the entire galaxy. They seeded new planets, guided developing civilizations, and ensured the stability of the cosmic ecosystem. The once feared thing between legs that had started their journey was now recognized as the key that unlocked a new age of galactic harmony. Kevin and Luna's love story spread throughout the cosmos, becoming a symbol of unity and hope for countless species. Years passed, and Harmony flourished under the guidance of its new coalition government. Humans, Klingons, and progenitors worked together, building a society that celebrated diversity and cooperation. The planet became a beacon of peace in a once turbulent galaxy. As Kevin and Luna watched over their creation, they realized the need for a more tangible connection to those they had left behind. Using their godlike powers, they created an avatar of their former selves, a physical manifestation that would allow them to interact with their friends and family on Harmony. The avatar materialized on the planet's surface, hand in hand, as fireworks lit up the sky to celebrate the anniversary of the Great Merger. Captain Chen, now a respected elder, approached them with tears in her eyes. "You've given us more than we could have ever imagined," she said, her voice filled with emotion. Kevin and Luna smiled, their avatar forms a perfect blend of their human and Klingon heritage. "We've only just begun," Luna replied, her eyes reflecting the stars above. As the celebration continued around them, Kevin and Luna knew that their greatest adventures still lay ahead. The galaxy was vast, full of wonders and challenges yet to be discovered, and they would face them all together, guardians of a new cosmic order, forever bound by the love that had saved the universe.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.